morning and happy Wednesday, Comets. I am so happy to be here with you today. I have another story for you to listen to, and it is called, What's the Difference Between Butterflies and Moths? And I know kindergarten, they have had caterpillar eggs in their room. They're waiting for those caterpillars to turn into a butterfly or a moth. But this could go for anybody. If you're outside playing in the next couple of weeks, notice. Be on the lookout to see, are there butterflies or are there moths flying around? All right, so let's see what the difference is. Look up. What is that beautiful winged creature dancing high in the sky? It is a butterfly, or is it a moth? Butterflies and moths can look a lot alike. Can you spot the differences between the two? All right, look and compare and contrast. All butterflies and moths begin life as caterpillars. Caterpillars like to munch on leaves and flowers. I bet if you're out exploring in the woods today or this week or next week, take a look around and see if you can't spot some caterpillars. And boys and girls, look how different they look. Caterpillars start to swell from all the food they eat. When their skin gets too tight, they molt or shed their skin. New skin lets them keep eating and growing. All right, fact. The period of time between each molting is called an instar. Let's say that word again, instar. That's the period of time between each time they molt their skin. A butterfly and a moth start out the same, but each of them changes in different ways. A butterfly caterpillar fixes one of its ends to a leaf or other object. Then it is time to change into a butterfly. All right, look how it's connecting to this leaf and it's kind of curled up. All right, a lot of you already know the stages of a butterfly, but we're going to read and hear it again. Its tight skin begins to open and show new skin. The new skin hardens, right here, and it becomes a protective shell. This shell is called a chrysalis. Say that with me, chrysalis. The chrysalis can look like a twig or a dead leaf or drop of water. It is like a safe house for the caterpillar. So inside this chrysalis, boys and girls, the caterpillar slowly changes into its adult form. When it's time to change it into an adult, a moth caterpillar usually fixes itself to a plant, leaf, or piece of bark. Some moth caterpillars dig themselves into the ground to hide. Most of them spin a cocoon, which is a silky casing. All right, notice. All right, this is a moth, the stages of a moth, and see how silky it looks here? And remember, the butterfly has that hard shell chrysalis. Metamorphosis is the process of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly or moth. That's a big word, boys and girls. That word again is metamorphosis, and it means change in form. So remember how it took from caterpillar form, then it has the protective covering, and then it changes again into its adult form. Butterflies and moths have a proboscis. They use this organ like a straw to suck up nectar from flowers. Butterflies, moths, other insects, and even some bats spread a yellow powder called pollen from flower to flower. Pollination, or spreading pollen, helps fruits and vegetables grow. Boys and girls, the pollen is already starting to fall because Miss Sipsy is feeling it with her allergies. Can you spot the proboscis? Look closely as a butterfly or a moth sips and zips from flower to flower. When the animal isn't using the proboscis, the organ is curled up. So you would have to really zoom in here to see that proboscis. Can you see it, guys? Whoop, hang on. It looks like my book is crooked here. Is it a butterfly or moth doing all that sipping? Most butterflies are diurnal. That means they flutter around only during daytime hours. Most moths are nocturnal. So over here we use the word diurnal, and over here we're using the word nocturnal. That means they fly around only at night. Boys and girls, I know you've heard that word nocturnal before, so think of some other animals that you know that are nocturnal. That's when the birds like to eat moths that are sleeping. Can you spot the difference between a butterfly and a moth by looking at the wings? Many butterflies have wings that are covered with thousands of bright, colorful scales. The colors help the insect blend in with its surroundings. Spots on its wings can look like large eyes that scare away animals. Most moths have wings that are covered with dull colored scales to match their resting place. Some moths look like wood or a leaf. This helps them blend into their surroundings. All right, notice the bright colors over here with the butterflies, and over here the moth blends in with its kind of dull colors. Some animals and insects are camouflaged. That means they are shaped or colored to match their surroundings. Camouflage helps them hide from enemies. Something else about wings shows us the difference between a butterfly and a moth. Watch the insect land and come to rest. Are the wings pointed to the sky or held flat over the insect's body? Most of the time, a butterfly's wings are pointed upward. A moth's wings usually are flat over its body when the insect is at rest. Interesting fact, wings up for a butterfly, wings flat for a moth. Body shape is another difference between butterflies and moths. Most butterflies have thin bodies. Because butterflies flutter around during warm, sunny days, they do not need extra fat. Most moths have plump bodies. Many moths' bodies are furry. Moths need the extra fat and fur to keep them cozy as they flit through the cool night air. Remember, they are nocturnal, so they fly around at night. Like all insects, butterflies and moths have bodies made up of a head, thorax, and abdomen. There is another way to tell the difference between a butterfly and a moth. If you look closely, you will see that a butterfly has two thin feelers. The feelers have thick ends. Sometimes the feelers look like tiny clubs. A moth has two feelers that can be thin or thick. Sometimes the feelers look like fuzzy feathers. Now you know lots of differences between a butterfly and a moth. And here is just a great picture of you to see the difference between a butterfly and a moth. I hope you enjoyed the story today, boys and girls. Have a great day outside looking for those butterflies or moths or caterpillars.